Well, how about this then? I've done the last 24 hours up in the shallows, and I decided to revisit one of my old favourite swims on Monks, which is the swamp, which I haven't fished for, well, years really. I was last on here a couple of years ago, because of the proximity to the road and the dog. But we done last night up in the shallows, and he's knackered, so I thought I'd have a little trip up here and see what it was all about. It's been doing quite a lot of fish lately, the swamp, but it is an absolute quagmire. The water's coming in right up the sides of the bank, and I managed to find a bit of old black matting someone had left up here and rolled it out across the top of the mud to make it a little bit more bearable. Anyway, I got here, chucked one rod out, just setting up the second one, putting the bait on, laid the first one on the deck, and I heard zip, 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 and I was away. And I've caught one in about 5 seconds of being cast out. So obviously a good move. Don't know what it is, sort of low mid-20 I suppose. And that'll be my new swim for the next 24 hours. Not a bad day. My wind's dropped, it's been howling up here for weeks really, but comparatively calm today. And a proper good start. 10 minutes in the swim, fish in the net. Right, I'm going to get sorted. Right, most important thing first, obviously, get the bait back out there. Fish is in the net. Sort them out in a minute or so it goes. First of all, to put another rig on the spot. Start the bait as well. Cool bit mad panic now. Test out from your new mat as well. New unhooking mat on that prototype on test. First time on the bank. Too long, but first of any, hopefully. 5 minutes after the move, towards the inside. Kept it covered in leech. Covered. Boat was looking alright?
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah. Excellent. couple of years back when I used to fish up here in the spring, I said before, this was sort of my favourite swim really back then, probably about 2 or 3 years ago. It's the only time I've really fished this lake in warmer weather, and I used to get a lot of my fish rather than out in the open water where most people fish. I used to catch a lot of them along this reed bed. There's a few little gaps in there. I mean, you might even be able to see a little clearing only about 10-15 yards away there, and in the warmer weather the fish get in there quite a lot. I used to sort of position my baits along the front of the reeds and nobble them as they came in and out. I also had a lovely little spot just on the far bank, sort of in the middle of that brightest set of reeds. I used to walk around the back and bait over the top of them, and that was like my banker rod. I had loads of fish off of that one. And not a lot of other people really used to fish it like that. Now the sun's got out, although it's February, I'm stood here looking at it and thinking, I wonder. There's a lot of extra water, a lot of flood water. It's quite deep along the side of those reeds, especially now. I don't suppose it's out of the question that they might be getting in there already. I think the way to find out is to get the old floaty back on the GoPro and cast him out. Shall we? Yeah, let's do it. Right then, here we go. All sorted and ready. Floaty back on. Bring him along that reed bed. See what we can see. Test my knots, make sure they're going to stay on. Yeah, that's right. Not a lot of room in this one. I'm just going to leave him actually floating about for about 5 minutes. He's just right up against the reed bed. Just leave him bobbing about and see if anything cruises underneath it. I say it's doubtful. I don't know of them ever getting in there in the winter, but it's a lovely, lovely day. There's an extra couple of foot on the water as well, so it can be quite deep in there. It's probably 6-7 foot deep in sort of outside reeds along there. Back of the wind, sheltered. In the reed bed at the far end, where I filmed them before, the first place I ever cast the floating camera, where I've got that common underneath it. I caught a 35 pounder down there. I had 5, 6, 7, 8 fish out of that reed bed in the last couple of weeks. And realistically, it's no different to this one. It's just that we all know they get in that reed bed and they sit in that reed bed all winter, especially the small ones. Nobody ever tries this one, so who knows? Let's see. Well, just been sitting here watching the footage back on the camera, on the phone I mean, on the app, and as you can see there was no carp that time, but you have to be pretty lucky to land it on top of a fish every time like I did last week. You can see it looked quite healthy alongside of those reeds. There's quite a bit of sort of fresh green weed growing up there. I'm sure it won't be many more weeks before they start getting in there. But for now, I'm just going to stick to the original plan, keep all the rods, 3 of the rods out there, 100 yards. I've got one reel on the side towards the bottom bank, about 60-70 yards. Stuck me a fish so far. Hey dog. Dipped his tail in a puddle next decided to whack it all over and look at the state of that. You are filthy, absolutely filthy. Damn, man. Stop whacking. Stop it. Covered, legs are covered, belly's covered, feet, the state of that, absolutely hanging. Not good, is it, Pat? Not good at all. No, you're not coming in here. You're going to lay out here somewhere. Right, let's go. Well, it's now mid-afternoon, still Tuesday. It's turned into a beautiful day. Had a couple of showers a little while ago, you can see by those black clouds up there, but the sun bouncing off those reeds on the far bank there, it just looks lovely. Still no more action yet, which is a bit strange. Well, it couldn't be milder, it's got to be double figures today, it's got to be 10, 11, maybe even 12 degrees. And they've only forecast about, I think, 6 or maybe 7 for tonight, which is really warm for this time of year. The sun's just disappeared behind that cloud now, just somebody's turned the reeds off. Stuck a zig out on one rod. I was winding in earlier for a recast and felt a big clonk on the lead halfway in, and I'm pretty sure I hit a fish on the way in with the lead. So I quickly clipped up at that range, stuck a zig on, 9 foot and 18 foot of water, whacked it back out to the same spot. I had quite a big liner within about half an hour, so I brought it in a tiny bit closer just in case, but no action as yet on it. I did think I'd have more, especially getting that fish so quickly. You know, one rod first cast. I thought I was in for a few. Well, still plenty of time, but a beautiful day like this, I thought the old bobbins would be rattling. Well, it's pack up day, Wednesday morning, about 8 o'clock. I had another one last night, about 11, on the long rods. Well, same rod I had the one yesterday on, actually. Sort of leathery mirror, I'd say £27. Fought like mad, took me all over the swim, under the other lines, over the other lines, sort of nipped one, pearl one for a little while. But I managed to get him in without moving the other rig, so all ended well. Got up at first light this morning, redone all 4 rods. Final effort for the last few hours. See if I can make it 3 before I go home. So there we are, end of the session. Wednesday lunchtime. Everything's on the barra, just the rods laid on the deck. Always waiting for that last little chance. I don't think it's coming now though. 2 fish to show for it, so not a bad trip. A couple of nice 20s. You'd think one of the big ones might come along though, come out to play in this mild weather. There's always next week. Always another chance.